am Brakarusk, and I was born near the Sarkoris Scar. I was raised by both of my parents in a military encampment. Both of them were crusaders in the heroic fight against the demon hordes that crawled out of a portal called the World Wound. Once I was old enough to contribute, I joined the ranks as a field medic, carting the injured off the battlefield and stitching their wounds closed, praising to Sarenrae to ward away any infection. It was this way for many years, until one dark day, my parents' battalion was ambushed by a demon lord and his minions. The demon lord mortally wounded my mother, and in a fit of rage, my father, with a missing arm, was able to slay the demon lord and carry my mother back to our encampment. I tended to her wounds as carefully as I could, and I prayed to Sarenrae. But my mother died in my arms that day. Her name was Vinith. My father was discharged with high honor and a large pension. I was allowed to accompany him, and we set sail for the City of Promise. My father said he wanted to retire in paradise, but he died before ever being accepted inside those walls of lies. He left me his fortune he had saved up, but I do not wish for a mundane life. Feeling restless and independent, I was ready to leave the port district of the City of Promise. But as fate would have it, on my way to the ticket office, I collided with a dwarven woman who was attempting to flee from a rather large, bald orc godswoman. She looked up at me and said, "Help me hide." Instantly, we ran through the streets, being pursued by this orcish god covered in scars, until finally we ended up alone in an alley. We kissed, and have hardly left each other's sight since. But she has been missing the past few days, and I will find out why.
Hello, friends and fellow adventurers. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. This video, we are going to step away from the session to create us a brand new character, a character creation video, which are my favorite videos. In our last episode, we met a lizard folk named Vinith. Well, my first question actually is going to be, is his name actually Vinith? I'm thinking he most likely gave a fake name when he arranged that meeting with Amari. Now, he did admit that his name was Vinith to our heroes when they were questioning him, but he doesn't know these people and he might not want to trust these people. So before we delve into fleshing out his details, because I do have me again a little post-it note here of things we need to figure out about him, is his name actually Vinith? And I'm going to say on a Chaos Factor 5, 50-50 chance, is his name actually Vinith? 0, 0, 100, extreme no. So we need to figure out him a real name. So we are going to go to our fantasy name generator. It's a website, very useful. They have a lot of different rollable names. We're going to find a good category. I'm going to go with lizard folk names. Looky there. See, there's a table for just about anything. And we're going to go for male names. Now there are 3, 6, 9, 10 names. So I'm going to randomize it 3 times and roll a d10. And whatever it is going to be our name, if I can pronounce it. 1, 2, 3, d10, a 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Brak. Urusk. Brakurusk. Alright, we have
Brakarusk, but you can just call me Brak.
Okay, I like it. I like that.
Brak.
And we know that his last name is Neelan from the previous episode. All right, let's get into the character sheet and character creation. So we know his name is now
Brakarusk Neelan.
create character. Let's go. All right, ancestry we already know is a lizard folk. Add and close. All right, ancestry lizard folk. We know that. Now our heritage we do not know. How many options do we have? We have 7 racial heritages in the common category. So I'm going to roll a d8. On an 8, I will re-roll. 5. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. An unseen lizard folk. We're going to add and close. I will go through and kind of read these myself, but I don't think you guys care to just sit here and watch me read things. Looks like there are 11 first level options, but one of them is not available to us. So I will roll a d10, and we got a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Lightning tongue. Add and close. Looks like we're good there. A background. Now we need to roll 2d20s. So there are 40 options in the player book, player core. So I'll roll 2d20s, and that's going to be a 6 and a 12, so an 18. Now, if I remember correctly, Gambler is the 20th, so 18 Field Medic. Interesting, okay. A Field Medic. Boom. Add and close. Now, my favorite part, and the most important part, in my opinion, is the class. Now, I did recently purchase the Player Core 2 for the Herolabonline, so I did expand my options a little bit. One thing, I'm going to take out the Fighter and the Rogue, since we already have both of those on the party. And also, I'm going to exclude Oracle and Investigator, because I don't really know how to play those, and they're a little more complicated, in my opinion, and that gives me an even 12 to pick from. So we're going to roll a d12, decide the fate of Brak. Here we go. Come on, drum roll, please. Dice gods, be nice to us. A 10. A 10 gives us a swashbuckler. Okay, a swashbuckler. I was thinking a magic caster was going to come up, but it did not, and I'm not going to say that I'm sad about that. I mean, it would add a bit of diversity to our team, but a swashbuckler, I mean, it's not much different from a rogue. It's going to be another dex, but we're going to have some pretty good fighters on our team if it all lines up like that. Swashbuckler it is. Add and close. We need a style for the swashbuckler. Looks like we have 6 options. Let's roll. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. A gymnast. Oh, he's going to be very maneuverable. Interesting. All right. Add and close. The gymnast. Class feat selection. We have 10, but 4 of them look like we cannot use. So that's going to be a d6 roll for our first level feat. D6. What is our feat? 5. So 6 is going to be Flying Blade. And we'll read what that is later. I'll skim it real quick. You apply Flashy Technique to thrown weapons as easily as melee attacks. You apply precise strike damage on ranged attacks. Do we have precise? I don't know. I guess we do. Wealth and experience. We just adopt our starting wealth. I'll go ahead and between now and when we play, I'll add him a little bit more gold and kind of give him some stuff just to get him up to level 2, because we will be level 2. All right. Skills I'll just quickly go through and pick as well. Something good for a swashbuckler. Awesome. Cool beans. Dang, was that really it? All right, well, we need a weapon. Melee's trident. We will go with that. It has thrown trait. I think he needs thrown. So we'll just start with a trident for him. Armor. He is only trained in light armor, which is fine because he has a pretty decent dexterity. So we will just go... Seems like a studded leather guy to me. Or maybe just straight up leather. Dex caps 3. Dex cap +4, which he has. So we'll go leather armor. Buying clothes. Cool beans. Alright. Then that will do us for character creation on that part. So now we just need to go through and roll on our mythic tables to get a little bit of information about him and his life leading up to this point. So, first up we have appearance. I'm going to roll 2 words. 48. Jewelry. And 14. And clothing. Okay, jewelry and clothing. He's very well dressed. Next up, we have background. Now, there was background in the Hero Lab aspect of it, but this background, I use it more for kind of like his childhood, his upbringing. So 2 more words on the background is going to be 44. Fortunate. And the second word is going to be 56. Heroic. Man, this is really shaping up to kind of be true with what is going on in the story. Next up, we have conversation. Now, the table is named conversation, and I'm just going to use this as kind of how they speak, how they carry themselves. For Vega, she was angry. For Zargo, she is enthusiastic. And I try to portray that. I do a pretty piss poor job of it. But let's see what Brak conversation is. 36. Fierce. It's really falling into line. I like it. And the second word is 62. Kind. All right. I am loving it. Kind. Motivation. What motivates our lizard folk friend? Now, if this comes up something like vengeance and love, then this is just, it's going to be too much for me. 64. Mundane. For motivation. Mundane. You know, I'm kind of going with that. Our second word for motivation is going to be 92. Stop. Stop. That one's kind of random. It's the first one that has stopped my understanding of him so far. Now, next up, we're going to roll on personality. 53. Independent. Second word for personality is 81. Restless. Awesome. All right, we have all the words we need to know off of our tables. The last thing I need to figure out is for some of our Pathfinder information. We need to know a deity, and we need to know his birthplace. So, deity first. There are 20 options, if I can click on the right thing. So I'm going to roll a d20. Hopefully it doesn't come up something crazy like Lamashtu. That would just be too funny. But leave it up to the dice. That's why we put our faith in the dice. Let's see. Deity for Brak. 16. So we got 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. Sarenrae. All right. I like it. Selecting clothes. That kind of falls in line with a lot of his fierce and kind and heroic. Sarenrae. And last but not least, we need to figure out what his birthplace was. A very unimportant detail, but a detail nonetheless. So I'm going to go into my Roll20 match because that is where I have the world map with the numbered locations. Here we go. So we got 1 through 10. What is his birthplace? Roll our d10, get our final bit of information, and we can end this video 3. That is going to be the Broken Lands. Now, more accurately, in the Broken Lands, let's see, 2, 4, 6. There are 6 options on this, 7 actually. So we'll roll a d8. On an 8, we will re-roll. 1. I'm going to say that is Sarkoris Scar. So I'm thinking he was most likely born during some of the encampments here, because this is like the world wound. This is where demons were pouring out. I'm pretty sure at this point in the timeline, it is all but closed up, but it's still an extremely dangerous area. So I'm thinking he was probably the son of somebody stationed there as a guard, and he was born here somehow, and then once they got deployed somewhere else, he moved on, and somehow he ended up on the island of Hermia and into our story. So awesome. I'm gonna write all that down, and I believe that is gonna finish it. I'm gonna get a picture for him, and I'm gonna flush everything else out. Age is not that important, but you know what, we'll just roll it real quick since we have the cameras rolling. I'm gonna start out at 20. I'm gonna roll a d10 and a d20, so he could be anywhere between 20 and 50. And that's going to be, wow, he's going to be 41. So, okay. I like it. 41 years old. And we're going to stop her there. Thank you guys for watching as I created a new party member for our heroes. Hopefully he lasts, sticks around. Some fun things happen for all of them. Thank you as always, and I will see you in the next episode where we will put him into action. Thank you, and goodbye, friends.